Welcome to First Wing, a Fourth Wing podcast.
I'm Brianna, and this is the start of my fourth wing journey.
And I'm Kendra, an experienced dragon rider, here to help this first year. Just a quick note, this book contains explicit content including swearing, sex, violence, and death, and so will this podcast. And this particular episode does have death.
And violence.
Sure. You had to have some violence to get to the death.
You gotta have a little bit of violence.
Generally speaking.
Today we're discussing chapters 27 and 28. Last episode ended when Xaden showed up when they were at Rhiannon's sister's house. And he was like, turns out it's just about 3 days that the dragons can be apart. And I was all like, oh my god, what's going to be is he going to have a reaction to them being, not where they're supposed to be? Or is Mira going to, all of that is just skipped.
Yeah, we just jump in.
So thank god I didn't read ahead.
Yeah.
Because it would have been boring.
Yeah. So this chapter starts out with a little blurb on the top that says, for valor above and beyond the call of duty in the Battle of Strathmore, where her bravery resulted not only in the destruction of a battery behind enemy lines, but also saved the lives of an entire company of infantry, I recommend Mira Sorengale receive the Star of Navarre. But if the criterion is not met, which I assure you it has been, downgrading to the Order of the Talon would be a shame, but sufficient. And that was a recommendation from this guy named Major Potsdam to General Sorengale.
Yeah, and I really want to know if she got the star. They don't say if she did or did not get the star. She was called the Hero of Strathmore earlier by Violet. But did she or did she not receive the star? Was her mom...
like, nope, Order of the Talon.
Yeah, or...
I can't remember if we ever find out.
I just want to know if her mom... because this guy's like, I assure you the criteria has been met. So I want to know if she was a butt, basically.
I don't know. But there you go. We get a little something about Mira.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Brianna said, it just jumps to a later scenario. So now they're basically...
like the next day, I think. It must be.
I don't remember.
I think so, because they talk about what happened earlier that morning versus what's happening now.
Okay.
So, I think this is...
oh, yeah. You're right. It literally says Riddick asks the next afternoon.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So we're just jumped into the next day. They're all basically in this like briefing room with Mira right now. It mentions like, obviously there's like two groups. They've had one group spent the morning with Devara in the room, and then they're just like going over like, battle strategy and stuff like that. And now they're on patrol. This group is Dane, Riddick, Liam, Emery, Quinn, and Violet. And then Xaden's just there because he's there.
Yes. Yeah. And Dane won't stop glaring at him and making snide remarks. And I'm just like, already, I'm like, as if this is where Xaden wants to be right now. Like, yeah. I mean, maybe it is, but...
he makes a comment
besides the point.
And also, I mean, Mira has something to say about this later, so.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's not like he was like, oh, I would like to leave my whole wing behind and whatever lessons I'm missing and all this stuff. But no, it's so annoying. Dane,
Yeah, well, Dane is obviously acting like a child here because Mira literally pulls him out and just says, knock it the fuck off.
Can't wait till we get to that part.
I know. Okay, good. Let's pretend that we've come across a newly fortified enemy outpost crossing our border. She's trying to get them to like figure out like, okay, what do you do? What actions are you guys going to take, right?
Yeah, and they keep on bringing up all these like, well, this is improbable because of this, or like, that doesn't make sense because of this, which is so funny because then later they have like a 2-second warning before they're attacked by griffins, basically.
Yeah.
So it kind of proves, like, Mira does say, she's like, okay, we can't dig into, like, all the, like, okay, per protocol, blah should have happened, because that's just not how it works.
Right. You're out there on the line. Yes.
Things go wrong.
Totally.
So, yeah.
You never know. And she says, how many of you have been called out as third years? And this is where we find out both Emery and Xaden have been called out as third years. And Dane doesn't know. And I would like to point out that Emery is in his squad. What did he do? Just be like, I don't know. Emery's gone.
She's a third year. So, like, they do have their own schedule.
Isn't Emery a guy?
Emery,
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Heaton is a they, right?
Yes.
Emery, I think, is a guy.
That's funny. I thought Emery was definitely a girl. Maybe we'll find out later. Anyways, Emery, this person,
Yeah.
is a third year, so they wouldn't be doing everything with Dane, just like Dane isn't always with Violet. Like,
True.
and they do have their own
True.
things that it would make sense that he doesn't know about. So it's probably not that weird, but yeah, it does seem like he might be like, oh yeah, Emery, who was gone for a few days at one time.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever.
Emery had to be gone for a few days.
Yeah.
It's just weird. But yeah, Dane's like, that's not correct. And I like how Zayden is just like, gives him a sarcastic thumbs up.
I know. My response was like, oh wow, like I'm so glad you're here. Like, thank God you could step in and clarify this point. Like Mira asked God, why would you even say anything right here? Like, you're just embarrassing yourself.
Oh, I know.
Like, the right response was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Not, that is not correct. Oh,
It's really, I know.
so embarrassing.
Well, then Emery also says, I don't know how many times we're the ones sitting in these very rooms because the writers have been called out. So it's been done several times. So obviously this is a thing in the third years. Like you said, it's probably just because the third years have all their things and Dane isn't really following them. I don't know. It's weird. But
it does seem weird.
Dane is definitely afraid about this. I mean, the color drains from his face.
Yeah, but I mean, it does. Okay, like obviously anything could happen, but they are just basically sitting in the watchtowers because all the writers have to go out somewhere. That's what Emery is saying. Like, they're not being sent like into the front lines of battle
Sure,
as third years. But something could happen,
Yes.
as we see, because something happens to them here.
Yeah.
So I get that it's not like all fine and dandy, but it's not like they're being sent to the very front lines into battle.
Right.
So whatever.
So now that that's settled, like, let's go back to this scenario. What are you gonna do? Look at everybody here. What do they bring? What are you gonna do? Right?
Yeah.
Liam speaks up here. Anyways, the whole point of having him speak was because we had to make a whole point about Mira noticing his relic on his wrist, right?
Yeah.
And Violet thinking about how she forgets that, like, the third years right now have the first group of writers that have the rebellion relics. They're going to go out and actually be with these other writers. Because, like, she mentions everyone in this room is becoming accustomed to Liam and Imogen and Xaden. But those in active service right now, like Mira and the other guys, they've never flown with anyone marked by a rebellion relic. It's going to be a whole new thing, you know?
Yeah.
She brings up specifically the Tirish uprising, and she explains it as an uprising that could have left our borders eventually defenseless and the innocent people of Navarre war casualties.
I just assumed that if they wanted to split off from the main country of Navarre and take their dragons with them, because like the thing is, like, we have this magical border that the dragons uphold and protect, but if they were to separate, that might break this magical border and be able to let in the bad guys. But we barely even know we don't know what they were rebelling about, against, for, we don't even know if they were writers themselves. None of this has been explained yet, so.
Yeah. And also, we're only hearing what Violet has heard in this line. Like, she's telling us what the story is that's written and known. Yeah. So we don't even know if that has anything to do with anything, really.
No, we don't.
Yeah. So she's noticing Mira is like kind of glaring or looking at Liam in a certain way. And so she clears her throat. And when Mira's eyes meet hers, she like lifts an eyebrow in warning.
Yeah.
And the warning is, don't fuck with my friends.
Yeah.
And I love how Mira's eyes widen slightly. Like, she's like, huh, you know?
Yeah.
So I love how Violet's like, don't give Liam that look. Like, this is my boy.
Yeah. I really hope, for the sake of all these kids, that when they get posted, with other people in their year who aren't also marked with the rebellion relics. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that they all kind of have like someone who can vouch for them, because this interaction
just shows how bad it's going to be. I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Liam's the best guy, too. I get why she hates Satan. He's a little, like, he's an asshole.
And he's not warm and fuzzy either.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, yeah.
Not in general.
He's allowed to be an asshole, but he is an asshole.
Yeah. She gives everyone these little models of dragons, right? What do you do? Who's in command? And then Dane says he's in command. Liam's like, our wing leader is here. And then Zane's like, well, we can pretend I'm not here for the sake of the exercise.
Uh-huh. And then it says, give Ados here the position we all know he craves. Like, oh.
He also like casually puts his arm
behind
Violet, you know, while he says this.
Such fighting words.
Oh, I love it because she also, oh, this is great.
Oh,
She
yeah.
says, don't be a dick. And then he responds in her head,
Uh-huh.
you haven't even seen me start to be a dick.
I know. I freaked out. I lost my mind. And then they explained how it works, and I was like, okay.
Oh, because you thought at this moment
Yes!
you were going to be proven right.
I was like, oh my
And
god!
instead it's just
No
another
fucking way! I know.
maiden
It's just the
dragon
same
bond
weird
thing.
loophole that we just keep on finding our way in.
Next thing you know, they're going to pull their friends into the loophole.
Yeah.
This is my best note taking.
Yeah, like, obviously that's how it works. It's like, what, since when? Okay.
I don't
But
know.
anyways, I definitely was, like, freaking out. But I was like, okay, this wasn't exactly my guess, but I should get half a point because the vibes were here.
The vibes were here.
And everything else before was just foreshadowing, obviously. I was just picking up
Sure.
on foreshadowing.
Yeah, for sure. Makes you wonder how long he's known he could talk to her.
Yeah, because this line where he says, like, I'm starting to wish I tried sooner. The look
Yeah.
on your face is priceless. So how long has he been holding on to this?
Well, maybe he just didn't try. I don't really know. So, like, what happens basically is she's like, gives him like a what the fuck, oh my god, what just happened look. And
Mhm.
he says into her mind, you're staring. It's going to get awkward in about 30 seconds if you don't stop. She says out loud, how? And he's like, the same way you talk to Scale. We're all gloriously, annoyingly linked. This is just one of the
Again,
perks.
the word perk. He keeps on using this word like, oh, this is a perk. Like when he had to touch her face, but he didn't have to touch her face.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I'm just like, anyways, it's just a little bit cute.
Obviously,
Because that's not the
Rebecca-
way you have to describe that. You could just be like, this is, I mean, this is a thing. I don't know, but he's saying it's a perk to be able to, you know,
To be able to
her
talk
like
to her.
this.
Yeah. Although I can't tell how much sarcasm that is, but
I don't know, but he does say later, like, it's really helpful in battle. So he might literally mean this is a perk, like, because
Yeah,
we
true.
can work way tighter together
yeah.
in battle. So
That's true, yeah. And then I love how he winks and she thinks he fucking winked.
she loses his mind when he does like anything, and it's so funny.
I know. Well, she's kind of
It's just
surprised.
unexpected.
He's being very flirtatious, teasing fun here, and
Yeah.
it's just not normal Zayden in her mind.
Yeah.
So,
Like when he opened the door for her, that was the time that
Yeah.
she was
she's
like
what the heck?
lost her mind.
Yeah. So then Dane's like, okay, you're the wing leader, not the ling leader, and
And I was like,
This-
he saw that interaction. Like, I know he didn't see everything, but he saw them like staring at each
sure,
other
him
and him
winking
winking
at
at her.
her. I mean,
And I'm like, he's so mad.
they're in a room full of people. When they get into this, I'm always like, what is everyone thinking?
They're all thinking, there they go again, being super flirty and obvious, because this happens all the time.
It's gotta, yeah. It's so funny. Anyway, so Zayden basically kind of just handles, so like, okay, Dane, you're in charge. He tries to handle it, but then Dane starts to challenge him in the room full of people saying, why are you even here?
Oh my god.
No
I was
offense.
Like, again, like it's his choice. Like
Well,
maybe he wanted to be here because he likes Violet, but this was not his choice. This was not her choice. You are.
He's very
So
suspicious that Zayden is doing things extra. He is. So
Yeah.
anyways, he's like 3 days. You couldn't even make it 3 days. And then Violet jumps in. It's like, has nothing to do with him. It's up to Tarn and Sigale. And then I like how Zayden says in her mind, you never considered that it was you I couldn't stay away from?
I know, and I was like, okay, so maybe it was his choice a little bit.
It's hard to say.
I don't know, or is he just teasing her?
Who knows? But she thinks he's teasing, and so she jabs him with an elbow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which again comes out of nowhere. Why is she jabbing with the elbow? So he's like, you're gonna give away our little secret communication here.
Yeah.
So then Dane decides to, hit back at Violet saying, of course you rushed to defend him. That's not what she's doing. She's pointing out that the dragons, anyways. And then he says, though, how can you forget that this guy wanted to kill you 6 months ago is beyond me.
I know. And my first thought was like, this is so not the time or place for
Totally.
this. Like, you haven't really talked to her. You've been like ignoring her. Like, and this is when you decide we should talk about it.
In front of everybody.
Here, in front of everyone. Is
Right.
like, this is the time we should have this conversation that they've been like dancing around. Are you kidding me right now?
Although people are loving this.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're loving it.
I mean, well, Zayden points out what we all are thinking. Good job remaining professional. And then
Yeah.
he says, really shows those leadership qualities to the best advantage.
I was like, what a great point.
Yeah.
But no one else is thinking what a great point. They're just this line from one of the writers is, "Do you boys just want to whip it out and measure? It would be faster." So they're just
fun.
They're just going at it, basically over Violet or something.
Yeah, so Mira gets mad, yells enough, slams her hand on the table, and then Violet manages to get it back on track, which we've been trying to do for the past 3 pages.
I know.
And she says, Mira has the ability to extend the shield if the wards are down, so the first thing I would do is send her to scout the area. We need to know if we're dealing with infantry or Griffin riders. And then Mira's like, okay, good. And then Violet's like, would you like to do your job sweetly
to Dane?
Because she started that.
Yeah.
I mean, how you can forget you're the squad leader is beyond me. Wow. There's so much going on between these words.
I know.
So Dane kind of just goes through, says, okay, Quinn does this, you would do this, Liam does this. Like, they're basically kind of figuring out based off of what they can do, where they all go. They do ask what his signet is, Dane, and he's like, above your pay grade. And this is when, what's her name? Violet realizes for the first time that it's actually a secret.
Yeah. Well, like, she knew it was a secret, but she was like, wait a minute. He's really bad at keeping this secret because he, in front of everyone, demanded to see my memories.
Yeah.
How has he not let this slip already?
How does not everybody know?
How does not everyone know? Yeah.
So weird.
Anyways.
Violet says, you stop ignoring that you have an incredibly powerful shadow wheeler at your disposal and ask him to black out the area so no one can sees you land. And then Mira's like, yeah, you're not wrong. And then Dane asks Xaden, you can do that? And Xaden's like, are you seriously asking? And then Dane starts to talk and no one cares what he's saying. Xaden lifts a hand and then shadows pour out from underneath all of the seats, filling the room and turning it dark as midnight in a blink.
Yeah.
And everything's dark. And then I like how he then talks to her and says, it's just me. Relax, it's just me. And then like a touch skims her cheek.
I think that the touch on her cheek was just one of his shadows.
That's what I thought too. And he's saying it's just me and she's thinking like just him. She like tries to shove that thought at him. She's trying to figure out how this works and then thinks like, well, maybe this is just a one-way communication because I don't think I can talk to him the way he does me. And then I don't know why she's thinking about signets here, but she thinks, what had Sigale said about signets? It reflects who you are at the core of your being. It makes sense. Mira is protective. Dane has to know everything and Xaden has secrets. So darkness, secrets. Yeah.
So after reading that, then I was like, okay, so here's some like great examples of how your personality can affect your signet. Like Mira is protective, Dane has. So then I was like, okay, well, what does this mean for Violet? So I'm trying to like think of her like personality traits, but all I can think of is like she's brave, she's good, she's smart, she's loyal. I'm like, what? I don't know what any of these like could turn into.
Yeah.
Anyways, and we get the reveal at the end of this chapter, and I'm still not sure if she has like a one-liner that would make it make sense, except for that she is powerful.
Yeah.
I would say, because even though she likes to think she isn't, she has like more strength than she realizes, basically, in so many areas of her life.
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of. But anyways,
and we can talk about that more.
I was hoping this line would like really give me a great clue, and I was like, I have nothing.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
That's fine. Xaden is saying that he can surround the entire outpost like right now, but he thinks it might freak people out. So then his shadows disappear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody's got an idea of like, this is how powerful Xaden is and how much of a threat he is. Because he could have just literally killed everybody right there.
Yeah, well, he could have done that even in the broad daylight with his shadows doing the killing. Which
that's true. Yeah.
Insane as well.
That is insane as well. Xaden talks in her mind, says, I hope you didn't get any ideas while we were in the dark in there. Yeah. She's so funny. She gives him the finger, of course, which I love. Then she tosses in Taryn's direction, like, get him out of my head. And he says, you'll get used to it. And she's like, is this normal with all mated pairs and their riders? And then he says, for some, it's a great advantage in a battle. Right.
So that's like the perk that it could be. But it was like, it's interesting as for some. Like, what's the qualifying factor here? Is it a qualifying, or is it just like, I don't know, we don't know. Sometimes it happens.
I don't know. Is it normal with all mated pairs? Maybe it depends on how strong the mating is, the bond is.
Yeah.
There did seem to be something about how strong
or how powerful the riders themselves are, because they talk, when she figures out how to talk back to him, she basically has to open like another window of power to like access his,
Yeah, so she
basically.
might have a better handle. They might have a better handle on their like her archives or whatever, like
Yeah,
her
they're
the
grounding.
grounding area, you know,
Yeah.
and how to handle that kind of stuff because it's a whole skill in itself.
Yeah, so maybe like all writers with mated pairs could do this, but not all
Maybe.
of them could even begin to figure out how to. So maybe that's what it is, but I was like, I'd like to believe that the foursome is like only if they just like super duper like each other.
Nice. Of course. I do like how like she says it's a pain in my ass right now, and he says you have the power to be a pain in the ass too. Trust me.
So funny.
Anyway, so Mira's like, okay, good, we're done here. Everyone out. I just want Ados and Ryerson and Sorengale in the
Yes.
hallway. Mira takes these guys out like a school teacher talking to the kids in the principal office or something.
I'm gonna see
Puts
you after class.
puts up this sound shield. And then Dane, like, I don't think he just doesn't realize that he's about to get lectured to. I don't know.
No,
He's like nice about her sound shield, and she's like, shut up. And then Mira gives the best lecture ever. She says, I don't know what bug has crawled up your ass, Dane Ados, but have you forgotten that you're a squad leader? That you have a very real chance of becoming a wing leader next year?
Mm-hmm. And I was just like, finally. Someone has been needing to do this for so long. Like, someone needed to come and lay into him and just talk a little bit of sense into him. And what's so depressing is that he wouldn't listen to Violet. I
No.
mean, she didn't try like her hardest because she's still like trying to spare his feelings or whatever.
Yeah,
But I'm just like, oh, come on.
I know.
I'm so glad Mira did this.
Yeah, she's definitely not feeling friendly because Dane tries to say her first name,
Mm-hmm.
Mira, and she says Lieutenant Sorengale.
I know.
But she's like, you're blowing it. You're pissed that Violet bonded his dragon's mate.
Yeah.
Like she knows what we know. Like, how is that anyone's fault?
Yeah.
Right?
I literally said as if anyone but Taryn had a choice in that, which is then basically what she says.
Oh, right.
But that was like my exact sentence was like no one had a choice in that manner except for Taryn. And when he showed up, he didn't even plan on bonding with her.
No.
So
Which
no
is a
one had a choice
whole
in this.
that's a whole calculation I'd love to hear in his head of like what he's like going to save Indarna. He sees Violet and somehow he just decides, screw it.
Well,
I'm gonna bond.
I wonder if Indarna and Violet had already bonded at that point.
And he
And
was like, well,
he
this
could
is not gonna work. She's gonna need a rider to ride.
and he could tell
Maybe.
that. And
Yeah.
he also knew everything that happened, knew how great and brave and awesome she was, and was like, "Oh, she's so gonna die, or she's just gonna be forced to be a teacher and not really, and she's so powerful and so great and has so much potential." Oh,
Or
fuck.
he was just like, look at this amazing writer who literally stood up in front of what would obviously kill her to save a dragon. If I'm waiting for a writer, this is it.
Yeah. Or they talk about how they do things with like Navarre's best interest at heart, right? That's the dragon's like whole purpose in bonding. And so maybe like I don't know how their magic works, but when he saw her, when he met her, when he knew these things about her, he was maybe like, "Oh man, this really would be the best interest of Navarre. Like this would be a
Yeah.
really powerful bond and this would be really great for whatever the magic that they're trying to curate."
Yeah, possibly.
But
Okay.
it is really interesting. I wish we could get that moment
I
from
know.
him.
We do get some little details of some things in the future that may possibly answer it better. I don't know. Okay, so back to this chapter. She says, but whatever is going on between the two of you, and that's Dane and Violet, is fucking up your squad. If I can see it after 4 days with you, then they sure as hell can tell. And if I'd known that you were going to be such a hard ass with zero flexibility for the things she can't control, I never would have told her to find you after crossing the parapet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mira says you guys better sort it out, right?
Right.
So she tells Dane to go back. He leaves, and then she goes to Xaden and says, "Is this what she can expect next year?" And Xaden's response is, "Atos being an asshole? Probably."
I know. He's so funny. He's so funny.
That's
Maybe should've-
that's almost a Riddick line though. Like it's almost, but see, Xaden would say it with such casual indifference.
Yeah.
While Riddick would say it like he knows he's being silly.
Yeah, no. Zayden would be like very dry about it for sure.
But she's like, no, I'm talking about like, is this what is going to be expected once you're assigned a wing. And he just says, wasn't my choice.
Yeah. Which I'm like, yes. Mira understood that when she was talking to,
To Dane.
Dane, but then somehow thinks that this is Aiden's choice now.
Well, I think now it's just her frustration in the situation that her sister is in and wanting to know if Xaden has a solution. Because she's like, you can't live this way, Violet. You'll be the one who ends up missing the training you need because he's more powerful of the two of you. But if you don't get focused on your training, then that's how it'll always be. You won't ever become who Taryn can push you to be. Is that what you're after, Ryerson?
Right.
And this is her accusing him, which is not, I mean, that's very cunning if that was, I mean, not that he, whatever.
But
if that
again,
was something.
How would he have controlled Taryn into bonding Violet to, like, create this whole plan? Like,
no,
it just doesn't make sense.
But again, he could have, listen, just going from what Mira's thinking, he could have been like, okay, this is a situation. Oh, this is going to be good. I can just give her trouble. But again, that only works.
She's missing the very obvious fact that he's about to point out.
Yes, which I love.
Me too.
So Violet is trying to say you're wrong about him.
I know, which I'm like, I hope he appreciated, like, her saying that.
Standing up, for him, Mira's really stuck on this whole thing, like, he could be, like, holding you back. How well do you really know him? And Violet's thinking, I trust him. At least I think I do. But see, Mira's kind of, like, wearing down at her. And then Mira says, do you even know why he hates our mother so much? Why the kids like him are put on the para... And then Xaden interrupts her.
God damn it, please let her finish.
Yeah.
Please let anyone finish this story. Please let anybody ever finish this story, but no.
Yeah. He has a point to make here, but it does make you wonder if he interrupted very strategically here.
Probably. I think definitely two things. I've noticed with him, it is often two things at once.
Mm-hmm.
I do become disillusioned of the idea that he liked her from the very beginning, or that he always wanted the best for her during this chapter or the next chapter, because he does say, like, oh no, I was going to destroy you, but then you were just so pretty and so sweet, or whatever he says. Basically.
We'll get to it.
So I'm like, okay, now I'm like rethinking everything. So this, I do think a lot of what he does is like serving two purposes a lot of the time.
Yeah. So he says, I'm right here. And he doesn't mean like, I'm right here. Why are you talking about me? He's like, no, you're not listening. I am here. Taryn didn't drag her back to Basgiath. He didn't break through her shields and pour his emotions into her. He didn't demand she fly across the fucking kingdom. Your sister is still right here. I'm the one who left my post, my position, and my executive officer in charge of my wing. She's not missing out on shit.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder, though, how much this was, Sigel just being like, oh, I miss Taryn. He's like, okay, let's go. I miss Violet.
She just thinks at one time, like, oh, I hope they'll be back soon. He's like, oh, well, we should just go.
Yeah, I know you're feeling, but I mean, I can feel it.
I can definitely tell. Sigel's like, okay, I mean, I'm not going to protest, but
anyways.
Seems like a you issue. Yeah, no, it is funny, but per what he's saying, it seems like he's inferring that what happened was Sigel, like, lost her mind a little bit and broke down his shields, and he had to deal with that. Yeah. But it seems... So is it the fact that Taryn can control himself better? That it didn't happen at the same time to both of them?
I thought about that. I was like, oh, what does that say about Taryn?
Did Taryn, did they do this kind of strategically, like, knowing this would happen, and Taryn kind of poured his emotions into Sigel, and they just gave double to Xaden?
I know, but also think about the fact that Xaden can handle his connection. Like, he can, like, close off Sigel more than Violet can close off Taryn.
Which is why this is crazy, because he's saying that she broke down his shields.
I know, and I don't know one way or the other, but I
almost
wonder if he's kind of lying.
She just said one thing, and he was like, okay. Yeah, like, on that dragon.
I mean, no, but maybe she was pouring it on there, but, like, maybe, I'm literally just guessing, but maybe he was like, okay, well, a normal person who's not as powerful and cool as I am would have not be able to handle this. But so I'm just going to say I can't handle this. Yeah. Even though I could probably handle it.
Maybe.
Or he just loves Sigel and is just like, oh man, okay, fine, let's go.
Yeah, or maybe he knew, like, okay, if she's getting to this point, that means Taryn's this close to getting to
he might... Good. Now that's a good one. He might have been like, okay, and then he's going to have to take Violet out of there, and that kind of sucks for Violet. Why don't I just go?
Why don't I just go now? Like, you could tell
I
it's
like that.
reaching that point.
I like that better.
Yeah. So, lots of thoughts to think.
Thoughts to think. And then so Violet kind of jumps in saying, like, he's, we're going to figure this out, Mira. He's taken every spare minute he has to train me on challenges and flying. And then she mentions, like, hoping I would keep my damn seat. And
yeah.
Uh-oh. And Mira's like, what? And she's like, how the hell can you not? And then Violet yells, because I'm not you. My joints and muscles are stronger because Imogen makes me lift these horrible weights, but that doesn't fix me.
And then Mira's like, you're not anything that needs to be fixed. She's kind of doing that thing that Dane does sometimes.
Yeah.
Of like, it's like both trying to tell her that she's too weak and also spare her feelings somehow at the same time.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is true. She's not something that needs to be fixed. But this reaction wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
She could have just been like, oh, I'm glad you're trying, or I'm glad something's working, or I'm glad he's helping.
Well, she's worried.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I didn't know you couldn't hold your seat. And then Xaden says she's getting better. You don't have to trust me. I think he's like he was about to say like, I'm, helping Violet, whatever.
Yeah.
But he says, you don't have to trust me. And then Mira cuts him off and says, good, because I don't. All that power in the hands of someone with your history is bad enough. But to know your dragons are so tangled up that you can't be more than 3 days from Violet is unacceptable in every possible way I can think. And then suddenly stops and Taryn basically says there's a drift of griffins heading this way. So at this point we have instant alarm, kind of like emergency protocols. Like that's it. There's an attack. You guys get out of here. Mira's like, we got to go handle this,
Yep. I just wasn't ready for this conversation to be over. But I do feel like Xaden made about 3 amazing points and she just ignored all of them.
Yeah. There's like too much, what's it called? Prejudice here.
She just truly can't believe that he's not trying to ruin her life.
Mm-hmm.
And I would understand more if I could know what this thing is that we don't know about.
I know.
Because if it's as bad as they're making it seem, then it's like, okay, I can see why she really just truly cannot comprehend it.
Yeah.
But this isn't helping. Like, I don't know how, like, you're not going to be able to solve this by yelling at Xaden.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like, I just don't know, like, what was she getting at? What was, like, what does she think is going to happen here? Like, it doesn't matter. The dragons are connected. It doesn't matter. This is what's happening.
Again,
so maybe try to, like, butter Xaden up instead of this.
That's not Mira's way. No way.
No, it wouldn't be. But I'm just saying, like, where would this conversation have gone to?
I don't know.
Is what I'm wondering.
She's just frustrated and she's communicating it.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way that's making Xaden out as a bad guy, but still. Okay, so this is happening. Mira's like, go, go, go. And Violet's like, we can help. Which obviously, that's not the right thing. They're literally cadets, So Mira tells Xaden to get her out of here. And Xaden literally, like, grabs her, Even Xaden's like, even if you don't trust me, I'm the best weapon you have. And then Mira's like, if what you say is true, then you're the best weapon she has. The other half of the squad will be here in moments. And her dragon, Tyne, whatever, thinks we have about 20 minutes until the griffins arrive. So she's like, basically, she says the same thing here. She's like, Violet, I love you. Don't die. I'd hate to be an only child. But she's basically saying, like, you need to make sure Violet gets out of here safe. That's what we need from you.
Yeah.
So this is when Xaden basically just picks up, just drags Violet out because she's like fighting against it.
Yeah.
She's like yelling, like, what if you get hurt? And Mira doesn't even respond to that. She just says, you want me to trust you, Ryerson? Get her the fuck out of here and find a way for her to keep her seat. We both know she's dead if she doesn't.
Right. Which he does do both of these things.
He does. Yeah.
He does both of these
definitely
things.
Gets her out of here.
He literally finds a way for her to keep
dragging her out.
Yeah.
Practically. And he does, yeah, you're right. He does almost immediately, too.
Yeah.
In this regard. I mean, maybe it's 2 weeks later, but still, that's pretty immediate.
Yeah, you have to build a whole contraption.
I know, it's great. Yeah. Yeah, she grabs her stuff. She goes back in the hallway, sees Xaden, notices that, his pack is smaller because she's thinking that he didn't have as much time left, to pack up. That he says, okay, we have to go up to the fortress walls because, I mean, that's going to be the fastest way for the dragons to take off with them, I guess.
Yeah.
She's still yelling and freaking out, and they're just like, we're going out of here. And she even tries to plead with Dane. But this is where Dane is like, listen, think of every other first year. Like, maybe we'll get out. Maybe we'll be okay. But what about all of them?
Yeah.
Which kind of, that's what, she does get that, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, this isn't about me.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know why I was thinking like this, but I was just like, why is she being so like, we have to fight, we have to fight?
Because she's scared of Mira.
Because of Mira.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know why. It's just like, she's being so annoying here. And then afterwards, when she's so scared that Mira died, I was like, oh, that's why she was being so insistent.
Yeah,
But
she heard there was a whole bunch of griffins coming and just freaked out. And that's what Violet cares about, is other people.
yeah, as we see, that's the only time she kills Jack finally. But but I get that she thinks Taryn could be a big help, but I feel like Mira would be in more danger if you're there. Because she would do stupider things to try to make sure you were safe.
Yeah.
And you would do the same.
Yeah.
This is a terrible idea. I know that she's not thinking all logically. I get it.
No, not at all.
But I'm just like, oh, Violet, just go.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like the dragons are like basically perching on...
Oh, Emery is a boy.
Okay.
Figured it
dragon. They're purchasing on this thin wall, right? And the riders are just running up the leg, right? So she's thinking here, like, I'm never gonna be able to mount Taryn at this angle.
No, and I was like, oh, that is a problem. Like, I can see how this is a problem.
Can you see if they didn't come up with the solution they did? If, like, you know, Zayden just like sticks her on his shoulders and runs up, puts her on his back, you know, like Spider Monkey.
Spider Monkey. That's exactly what I thought too.
And then runs up.
Oh my god.
Drops her off, runs back up.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah. That would be a way to do it.
So they do this thing where basically one dragon comes down, a rider jumps on, the dragon goes off. The next dragon comes down. Like, it's just like one at a time to get them out of there.
Yeah.
Dane gets sent ahead. So basically, it's only Violet and Zayden left at the end, right?
Yeah, because Taryn ran off to go do some fighting.
That's right. So he wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on his way back. But that's right. She does say somewhere, oh, she says, where are you? And he says, almost there. I was doing what could be done.
Yeah, so like they did something. I mean, I'm assuming he just killed as many of the griffins as he could before.
Yeah, who knows? What else could be done?
He had to come back.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she turns to Zayden and is like, the others are gone. Call in the favor you owe me. I don't care. We can stay. I can't just leave her here. It's wrong. And it's something she'd never do to me. I have to stay for her. I just have to. And then it says, there's so much compassion, so much understanding in his eyes that when he lets go of my waist, I think he might just let me stay. And then he kisses her.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I wonder what he was thinking about, like his own family, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I know.
But she was trying to like fully call in the favor, and he was just like, no.
Sorry, babe.
But he, you know what? He does something so great with the favor anyways, even though she didn't specifically ask for it. But she seems fine with it.
Yeah.
But
at this moment here, she's not fine with him. But he does she is totally make out with her. I mean, they're just like going for it. And then when he finishes, he rests his forehead against hers and says, leave for me, Violet. Which is so sweet. But
he actually called her Violet instead of Violence,
too. But instead, she decides that he's been stalling this whole time. I mean, maybe, but still. But somehow she's decided he's just been stalling to give time for the dragons to arrive. Uh-huh. And she says, I will hate you for this. Uh-huh. And he says, yeah, I can live with that. And then puts her hands up like a T, says, arms up, hold tight. And she says, fuck you. And then Taryn picks her up and takes her and does the stuff that they normally do, like throw her up in the air, land on his back or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Taryn does say, I've done everything I can. I will not risk your life. So hold on so we can outfly them. And they take off, and she looks back behind and sees a dozen griffins envelop the keep.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty intense end to the chapter. Thank God. Thank God that wasn't the end of my reading. This is another like example where I'm like, okay, I think he is serving two purposes here. Like, he's probably scared for her, and he has, especially with her being so caring and compassionate, which is something he seems to like about her. Because he seems to always show emotion.
Is the he here Zayden or Taryn? Zayden. Oh, sorry. Okay, good.
Zayden seems to very much like her compassionate side, because it's been noted like multiple times that he has a reaction to that. So I think he's kissing her because he wants to kiss her and because he's scared a little bit that, she might do something dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And is maybe also stalling her because maybe he thinks if she keeps on begging him that he'll give in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think it's all of it, yeah.
yeah. But, oh, God, she's always one to focus on the negative with him.
Sure, but we get a little kissing scene here, so we get, we enjoy this.
Yeah. Wow. It was a great time. Good kiss.
And, from here on, I swear they're doing nothing but just teasing each other. So it gets more, the sexual tension just gets more and more ramped up through this next chapter.
I still think my theory will be correct. I think this is chapter 28 that we're about to dive into. And I think in the next chapter, they're going to sleep together. That was my prediction.
So what was your prediction? What chapter were we on?
We were on chapter 19 and I said 10 chapters from now.
Wow. Cool.
So,
let's see.
We'll see. Because I feel like they're getting close.
I mean, you can feel something in the air here.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 28, the blurb at the top says, winning the war games isn't about strength. It's about cunning. To know how to strike, you have to understand where your enemies, your friends, are most vulnerable. No one stays friends forever, Mira. Eventually, those closest to us become our enemies in some way, even if it's through well-intentioned love or apathy, or if we live long enough to become their villains. And that's from the Book of Brennan.
Yeah. So that first line, winning the war games isn't about strength, it's about cunning. I was like, okay, so she should be great at this.
Right.
That's her whole thing.
That's her thing.
That's her thing.
Wait, anyways. Is Violet a Slytherin? I don't know.
Not enough self-preservating.
Yeah.
She's actually maybe 0% self-preservating.
Okay, fine.
No, it's Ravenclaw.
She's a Ravenclaw, not a Gryffindor. I don't know. Let's keep finding out.
She's very brave.
She's very brave. There's a recklessness in her.
Yeah. God damn it. She's Hermione. She's like a Hermione. With like all the brains. But
she is like a Hermione.
But the brave, reckless
Except for if Hermione and Draco dated, that would work better.
And that's why you think she has a little bit of Slytherin. She's influenced.
Okay. Anyways, so we start out the chapter with her basically hanging out at Professor Markham's office because he's the scribe. He's the one who gets the news from the outposts.
Yeah.
She's basically. It's been 2 days since they left Montserrat, which was the outpost they were in, and she just doesn't know what to do with herself because all she can think about is what's going on with Mira, right?
Yeah.
Xaden shows up. So this is, like I said, she's just hanging outside the office. Xaden shows up. He says, still hate me? And she says, absolutely. And then thinks that's not entirely true.
I know. And I was like, okay. I mean, I wish she maybe said that out loud, but I'm glad she's not being that dumb. Like, she's not still, like, actually actively angry with him because he was just following orders.
He was. But he so nicely brought her coffee and then says that Sigale says you haven't slept. And I love how she's like...
Quit telling Sigale about my sleeping habits.
To Taryn.
Yeah.
She's like... And then he says, I am not dignifying that demand with a response. And then, oh my God, this childish reaction is so funny. Because then Violet says back to Taryn, and Darna is my favorite. And then Taryn snorts.
They're so funny.
I love it so much.
They're so funny.
Anyways, so whatever. She's, saying like whatever about the sleep. But then Xaden's response is, I haven't slept well since the night my father left Aricia to declare the succession. And that was more than 6 years ago.
Yeah. Left Aricia to declare the succession.
Yeah. Aricia is what?
It is the capital city of Tyrrendor.
Good. So he left then to declare the succession. Okay.
To declare succession.
I'm looking at 1 second. It's the action of withdrawing formally from some sort of federation or body, especially like in a political sense.
Oh, okay. So it's not anything new. Because we already know that they were trying to separate.
Yeah.
They're the separatists.
So he's declaring that we're succeeding from Navarre.
We're leaving. So this whole, it just really... I mean, I'm just like waiting for the other shoe to drop, basically, this entire time. Because it just really sounds like all they wanted to do was like basically be independent. Mm-hmm. They were like, oh yeah, no, we just want to be our own place. And they're like, we will kill all of you and your children. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay.
Why?
That's a little bit crazy for just being like, maybe we can separate.
We have that mention that Violet said earlier where somehow there's some kind of idea that by them doing that, it would have put them in danger. So we don't, again,
probably
we don't
because
know.
Of the magic with the dragons and the veil and blah, blah, blah.
We don't know why that is exactly. Like, we just have that idea, or if that was even true, or what the deal is. But again,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just waiting, because every hint we get, I'm like, oh, no, it's just the same thing. They just wanted to leave. They wanted to separate. They wanted to be their own government, or they wanted to be their own religion, or whatever.
Yeah.
They just, where's the bad part of this? Like, that deserves this much of a reaction and this much hatred. We'll find out.
Keep looking. Okay, so yeah, so he basically says he hasn't slept well for 6 years.
Yeah, it's rough. That's a bad time.
Yeah. She does find out here he's 23, and she's about to tell him when her birthday is, and he's like, July. I know. I made it my business to know everything there was to know about you the second I saw you on the parapet. And she's like, because that's not creepy.
And here...
Oh, yeah. So he says, can't know how to ruin someone without understanding them first. And then she says, is that still your plan? And he flinches and says, no.
Right. So... this is like the first time. So much of this is the first time. We learned so much here.
Yeah.
But this is when we know, like, okay, so he was planning and plotting this whole time, but I guess he definitely wanted more than just death for her then, because as we pointed out this entire book, he's had a million perfect chances to kill her.
I mean,
so he must have had a long game that he was planning.
His shadows could have just come out and knocked her off the parapet.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Yeah. So he must have been
But he also saw her give her shoe to Rhiannon from the beginning. That was the first sign.
That's why I thought this whole time that he must have been like, oh, she's not that bad. She's so sweet and adorable.
He thought something.
Yeah.
Because he was interested. But then she says, what changed? When did you decide not to ruin me? And then he kind of just gives a whole bunch. He's like, maybe it was when I saw Oren holding a knife to your throat.
Yeah, but like we know it was before that.
I know.
Because he was going to interfere.
I know.
Whatever.
Or maybe it was when I realized the bruises on your neck or fingerprints, whatever. He just kind of gives all these things. And maybe when I kissed you, and then I love it how he says, or when I realize I'm fucked because I can't stop thinking about doing more than just kissing you.
Yeah.
And then he sighs and says in her head, does it even matter when, as long as it changed between us?
Yeah. This whole conversation was just like, I was just like, this is so terrible and great and amazing.
I know.
All of this. And I was like just waiting. I'm like, they're going to get interrupted like right before a revelation, which they kind of don't. But I was just waiting. I'm like, any minute now, someone's going to walk in and interrupt this perfect confessional conversation where they're being so real.
Well, they do kind of get interrupted.
Yeah.
He brings up like, well, she's like, don't do that. He's like, don't do what? Tell you I can't get you out of my head or speak directly into yours. And she says either.
Yeah, and I was like, Violet, don't tell him to stop telling you how he feels. Like we've all been waiting for this all book. Don't tell him
for
to
our
stop.
sake.
Please.
For our sake, let us hear it.
I know. I was like, we are in like full on confession mode here. Like,
I know
we're doing the whole thing, and I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, this is why I was saying, like, after that last kiss, just a little bit ago, the end of the chapter, I was thinking, like, from here on, it starts to escalate. He starts to admit things, and they start to flirt with each other and so on and so forth. And this whole communication between them through the minds it has just increased their, like, overall connection with each other.
Which means they can flirt all the time.
Totally. No one can even know. Yeah. So he's basically saying, you can learn how to do this. Come on, give it a try. And so she like looks in her archives, and she's looking at where the light comes from Taryn and the golden light comes from Andarna. And she takes a deep breath, turns, and sees along the edge of the roof line is a shadow of sparkling night. I love that, shadow of sparkling night. Yeah. And that's Xaden. So she found him, but then Dane shows up. So that's what they were interrupted, but whatever.
I know, but then now they can start talking to each other in their minds, so it's like only semi-interrupted. But I was like, this is the worst person that could have interrupted them too, because I was just thinking Markham would come and interrupt them, but I'm like, Dane, really?
But Dane also cares about Mira and Violet.
Yeah, and I was like, at least they weren't kissing.
Yeah.
That would have been so awkward.
And this is where Violet talks back in his mind, because Dane's like, do you want some breakfast? And then Xaden says in her mind, no, dumbass, she doesn't, obviously. And then Violet responds back, knock that the fuck off. And then he's like, ooh, look who figured it out,
Yeah.
So, okay, Professor Markin shows up. He basically, after like saying he can't say anything, finally admits that no writers got hurt. So they're like, thank God.
Yep.
Mira's fine.
And then, my God, I was just crying so much when she ran off to Andarna.
I know.
Oh,
She just takes off, needs some space, skips breakfast, which is, just what she needs.
yeah.
Um, and starts crying, and then Darna just shows up, and she just like leans against her and says, "She's alive, she's alive, she's alive."
I know. It's so sweet.
Then there's this little montage of her trying to ask Xaden personal questions, which is
I
so funny.
know.
So
This
like
is
the
so
next time
good.
they're on the mat, she asks if he has siblings, and he says no, and she's like, "Okay, just asking." And then another time, next day she asks him what his favorite food is, and she's like, they're in the middle of battle brief.
Yeah.
And she says, "I'm pretty sure I heard him drop something at the back of the room before he answers," which is so funny. He's like, "What the heck?"
I'm so glad that she can like shock him like this. Like
Yeah.
he shocked her that one time.
Yeah. And then he responds chocolate cake, which I don't know. What's your favorite food? Chocolate cake? I don't know why. I wouldn't think of a dessert for favorite food, but hey, you do you.
Everyone considers food, different.
Yeah.
But I love that he's like stopping weird.
Yeah. And then she grins. She loves it. She's like, "I love pushing his buttons,
Yeah.
And then so she asks about Liam, and he says, "We were fostered together. What is with all the questions lately?" And she says, "I barely know you." And then he says, "You know me well enough." And she says, "Hardly. Tell me something real." I like that question. I feel like I've heard that in other books before or something like that. But, tell me something real. And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "About the silver scars on your back." But he's not going to answer that.
No.
So she's whatever, he's like, "Why do you want to know?" And then she's like, "I knew they were private." She's thinking in her head, but his reaction says there's more to them than it's just painful memory.
Right. So, I don't know. I'm still torn between, is this foster home stuff or is this the thing that has to do with her mom? And I don't know. If it's neither, then,
Yeah, well, that's a good question. And Taryn's like, "Are you pushing for a reason?" And she says, "Can you give me one not to?" And he says, "He cares for you. That's already hard enough for him."
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "He cares about keeping me alive. There's a difference." And then he says, "Not for him, there isn't."
But also, he literally just... I can't even express how upset this line made me. You guys just had a whole conversation where he was, like, telling you how much he liked you, basically. Not even basically.
Well, how
Definitely.
much he wants her.
And how he doesn't want, like, bad things to happen to her, and how, like, things changed for him. And then, God, she's so... This was, like, my break. I was like, it's not even subtle anymore. A whole confession, and then you're like, no, he just cares about keeping me alive.
Well, we did say, that he could practically say everything, and she'll be like, "Just don't kill me."
I think I said the line, like, he was gonna be like, "Violet, I love you," and she's gonna be like, "Oh, God, always trying to mess with me."
Yeah.
And that's basically what this is.
That's funny. Okay, good. So War Games is happening. Listen, War Games kind of goes on a bit, so I'm not gonna like summarize everything here, but basically they start out waiting for like orders and stuff. So we do get like a little bit of a cute thing here where she doesn't know. She knows that First Wing is gone already, so probably on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So they're thinking they're going to be on the offense. And remember that what's his name?
Jack is
First Wing. Yeah. But she does get to use her little like, connection to Xaden to ask him like, "Are we on offense or defense?" And he's like, "A little busy right now." And she's like, "Oh no, am I distracting you?" And then she thinks, "Shit, am I flirting? Do I care?" Oddly enough, no.
Yeah.
And then he says yes, and she says his tone is so gruff that she has to press her lips in a tight line to keep from laughing. But then she's like, "Come on, you're taking forever over there. Give a girl a hint." So he just says both as his answer.
Yeah, but he doesn't put up his shield, so...
No, he lets her stay there.
Yeah.
He likes having her in his head.
Yeah.
So they find out that the First Wing has taken a defensive position to guard the crystal egg, and that they are going to have a flag. So they have to both get the egg and protect their flag. And that's why it's offense and defense.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
And the fact that their squad specifically in the Fourth Wing has to hold the flag. So she was kind of surprised about that. Like, wow, you gave Dane that whatever. But he did say, he's like, I'm hoping he learned something from that Montserrat experience. So Montserrat. Yeah.
It just proves that unlike Dane...
Xaden can look past things.
Be a good leader, and want his wing to be a strong wing, and wants what's best for everyone. And let's be real, I mean, Dane is still her squad leader.
Yeah,
she needs, like, having a powerful, smart squad leader could be a big deal for her too. So he can actually think beyond and what's actually best for Violet, unlike Dane, that selfish fucking asshole. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and he's got good ideas here. They go over their maneuvers, they go over their like strategy and all that good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Rhiannon is very like confident. She's like, we're gonna win.
Yeah, and I was more like, they can't win again. I mean, how many times are they gonna win? I don't know. Like, I know that this really cool thing happens later. We still haven't gotten to the end of War
I mean, it's like
Games.
Harry Potter, they just keep winning and winning.
Yeah, and I know that their squad isn't perfect, and like she didn't manifest her signet, and she couldn't stay on her dragon. Like, I know it's not like all perfection, but I'm like, are they really gonna win again? Maybe.
Yeah. She gets to the dragons and surprise, guess what? There's a saddle strapped on her dragon.
Yeah.
And Terrence says the funniest line here.
I know.
He's like, I hear it's all the fashion, which I just love so much.
I love him so much. His
Yeah.
first instinct is to, like, he knows how she's gonna react to this, basically.
Yeah.
And he's, like, so quickly trying to be like, don't worry about it. Like,
I know.
I'm okay with this. You should be okay with this. Everyone's gonna be okay with this.
I mean, Rhiannon's just like, that's cool, and goes on her dragon. But Violet's like, I can't do that.
I know.
It's not allowed.
But it is.
Says who?
And do you know how we know it's allowed? Because Dane didn't throw a fit about it. Because he's all, whatever, we'll get to that in a minute, but.
Yeah, Terrence says, I decide what's allowed and what's not. There's no rule that says a dragon cannot modify their seat to serve their rider. You have worked just as hard, if not harder than every rider in this quadrant. Just because your body is built differently than the others doesn't mean you don't deserve to keep your seat. It takes more than a few strips of leather and a pommel to define a rider.
He's just so great.
He sure is.
He's just so great. Even if he's grumpy, and even if he's annoying and sometimes doesn't listen to her when she's like, please stop distracting me.
Yeah.
He is just, again, he just knows exactly what to say. And it's just so, whatever. I just feel like if anyone in this situation should be embarrassed, like, it should be him. You know what I mean?
Terran, for sure.
Yeah. And so
he's got this, like, reputation to uphold,
Yeah. And when I hear saddle, I think of horse. And I just feel like that's so embarrassing to be like he's like a pet. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. So him just, like, jumping right in and just being like, this is completely
great.
Fine.
This is
This is good. Like, it's not against the rules, and you deserve this. And just please
it's not
be okay
just
with
a
it.
saddle; it's literally a seatbelt too.
Yep, very much so.
I mean, that's what it is. She gets strapped in, right? That's the whole thing. Yeah. So she finds out here that Xaden, because Xaden basically says, if you don't use it, I'll take personal offense. And he says, considering I had it made for you and just about got myself burned alive in the process of trying to get it on him. And then he mentions that Tyrion also helped design it. They have a little kind of back and forth here, which is, like the first model was unacceptable. And he's like, how was I to know? Blah, 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 whatever. So they kind of go back and forth here. But she's still like, well, everyone will know I can't keep my seat without it, which is so dumb because everyone already knows that.
Which is exactly what
Xaden says.
I hate to break it to you, Violence, but everyone already knows that.
And they're like, he's like, I wasn't able to try it out because, Tyrion wasn't going to let me on him. And Tyrion's response is, you can ride me when the flesh rots off my bones, wing leader.
And then she thinks, well, that's descriptive.
Yeah. And there's no rule against it. So, and then I love this. She's just like trying to, I don't know, she's trying to figure out what's going on in her head. And then he speaks in her mind and says, fuck, that stubborn, feisty look always makes me want to kiss you.
I know. And then his expression remains bland and bored.
Yep.
But yeah, she's still trying to find another reason. And like she says here, like, I might not want to appear different than every other writer, because that's the real issue. She's making up all these reasons, but this is the reason.
Yeah.
But then she says, but I already am. So she just needs to accept that. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Basically at that point, they're like, okay, you got to go. It's time to go. And so she finally says, it's beautiful. Thank you, Xaden, which is nice that she said that. And then he says, consider my favor fulfilled. And then Dane sees that it's a saddle. The whole point on here really is that Dane is like, I'm fine with whatever. Keeps Violet safe, if you haven't noticed. Like, he doesn't actually, they're a little bit like, oh, you have a problem with it? And he's like, no.
Yeah, he's completely fine with anything that keeps Violet safe as long as it doesn't break the rules.
Yeah.
Then he would not be okay with it, even if it could save her life.
And we know this doesn't break the rules. I like how Xaden's like, in her head, I bet it would be even more awkward if I kissed you now, huh? And then she thinks, yes, please.
Yeah, but then she says the next time we kiss better not just to be to piss Dane off.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. Like, it seems like a great reason to kiss.
I like how he says, next time, huh? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
of
they're being
course.
so flirty.
Next time. Okay, good. And then Indarna shows up and she wants to go along as well. So she basically tells Indarna to go roll in the mud.
I know.
So that she's not like sticking out as a beacon.
She's so smart.
And yeah, she is smart. We do find out here, like, because she was worried about the leather being a situation, and Taryn explains that like the leather is a hazard on his chest. Like, basically, if he's fireproof, right?
Yeah.
But if it burns the leather, then the saddle can fly off. But she's sitting on leather right now. But the point is that if it burns that leather, she's already a goner.
Doesn't matter.
Unless she's doing a maneuver where she's like running on his back. But like that's, I don't think, they're not considering that. So
yeah. But I had like two separate thoughts here, because then also like she says this is ingenious to Xaden as she's strapping in her thighs, and then he says like, let me know if it needs modifications after we win today. But so I was like, my brain was like split, because half of me was thinking Taryn and Xaden are worried about leather on the chest fighting from other dragons, which she says like, oh, I don't see how that would be relevant.
Oh, right.
But I'm like, maybe they know something you don't know that would make that relevant, because we know that their dragons were spotted on the other side of the border, that whole situation. And then also I was thinking, is this what Xaden was running off to? Because she mentions earlier that after the last kiss they had, that there was a while where he became even more secretive.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it wasn't after the kiss, it was after that conversation on the mountain. And he was like running off at random times and like wasn't around and blah blah. And she was like, oh, it was probably just 30 or stuff. But I was like, well, maybe
it was
he was actually running off at random times and disappearing because he was busy like making a saddle and then trying it on Taryn and doing all this stuff. So
yeah, that might be. Okay, so they go off, they're flying, it's like taking time. They're not really finding anything particularly at first. She's kind of bored and stuff. But then suddenly she notices like a whole bunch of dragons coming their way, right?
Yeah.
There's also talk throughout here. She's talking about her power throughout here. She's like, she feels like she's going to explode. She keeps feeling the sizzle. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So she's worried about that.
I know. And this was like the one time that I didn't write down, like, is this going to be where it happens? Because it's
too many
teasing me
yeah.
this whole time, where like she brings up like, oh, I can feel this happening. And I'm like, oh, okay, no. Nope, I guess not. So I just was like, whatever, we're just thinking this is just fine.
It did seem a little bit more intense through here, but yeah, that's fine. You don't have to predict everything. But so she does see dragons coming towards them, and they get basically attacked. Like they're getting hit with ice pellets, and then like, okay, at this point she's like, oh my god, my signet is really gonna backlash, and he's like ground, so she like grounds so that she's a little more control, and then there's like fire being blown at them, and she's like, what the actual fuck, like it seems a little aggressive, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And Darna's fine. I think that they send her off, right? She kind of like goes and
I think she just perched down in the mountain.
Yeah, takes a little
on the cliffside
break
or something.
or whatever. Yeah, they know the egg's there, so she calls out to Xaden, which is, hey, this is where it's like good to have this mind to mind.
Definitely.
Although Taryn could have told Sigale, but anyways. So he's on their way. Maybe that's why he says, I'm already on my way. I don't know.
Yeah, very possibly. She doesn't seem to request things from Taryn very often. I mean, she sometimes does, like, get Xaden out of my head. But, like, I was thinking earlier in this book, like, how many times that she could request something from Taryn, and she doesn't. But I think it's because they're taught, like, basically don't question a dragon, don't talk back to a dragon. Like, they're taught how dangerous that could be. Now, of course, it seems like her and Taryn's relationship is closer.
Yeah, they're gonna be fine. Yeah,
and he wouldn't just kill her because she said something that he didn't like. But it's like seems to be like what they were taught.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where we see that Liam and his dragon is basically locked in battle with Jack's dragon. And we get kind of a little bit of a blow by blow here and stuff. They're definitely worried about it. But then what Jack does is he jumps onto the Liam's dragon, and literally stabs Liam.
Yep.
And Liam falls off the dragon.
Yep.
And so Taryn and Violet go for catching him, but she knows she's too far. So this is where she decides, okay, I'm using your power, Indarna.
Well, she asks.
She does. She says, Indarna? Question mark.
Yes, and I really appreciate her asking. That's all. Even like in this very intense moment, she does, because I think she could just like. I mean, they talk about how bad.
It out of there. Yeah.
They talk about like why it's so dangerous, and that's because of whatever, how it's different. So she could have just done it.
Yeah. This is very true. And then we hear that she's told to focus on everything except you and Taryn. It would be so much easier if you could just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
And whatever you want to, as opposed to everything else. But that's fine. It's
harder
to not focus on something than it is to focus on something.
Yeah, I guess that sounds hard, but I feel like it's more just like focus on everything slowing down.
Yeah.
Except for you and Taryn.
Yeah, and it's a good point, because if you can imagine, if Taryn stops, what's she gonna do? I'm here.
Well.
So she's like, okay, good, ready, do it. And then the power comes through, and suddenly they're the only ones moving. They're fighting.
Yeah. See, sorry, I know it's intense, but this right here is why I was like, oh, see, the signet, it was just like another tease, because I thought that her using Indarna's power here would slow, like bring that, because she needs to use all of this power that's like building up in her. And
but she's using Indarna's, not Taryn's.
I know, but I thought this would be enough of an outlet that at least wouldn't make her explode.
Yeah, possibly.
And I was like, see, they're doing the thing again. They're just teasing us, making me think it's going to happen. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, so they grab Liam, snatching him with the claw, right?
Yeah.
Taryn thinks got him, or maybe Violet thinks that. Who knows? And then Indarna they end the power, and time goes back to normal. And Indarna's sleepy, but she's fine. She's safe.
Yes.
So now Violet is pissed. She's like, this is the last time this asshole will come after my friends or me. I mean, this is it, right?
Yes, and this was like, I basically predicted this personality trait in her, which is that like she will take all of the shit, but the second you go after like someone she cares about, that's when she like loses it.
Yeah, she's not gonna kill someone on her own accord.
No,
like, you're trying to hurt me. Okay, fine.
Yeah, but you came after Liam. That's the end of it. That's it. I will come and I will kill you.
Right.
But I love this. You will not unseat yourself.
Yeah, because she's thinking of like jumping free, unsnapping the buckles and jumping free.
Yeah.
But they take out after him, and she can feel the growing power sizzling, right? She knows that Zayden's coming up behind her. But right when she basically is like they're charging him, and she basically throws out her hands.
Yeah, but she still thinks that her power's going to backlash. And she's like,
oh, that's right.
I'll be damned if I don't take that asshole down with me.
So she wants to be there.
But not Jack. So at this point, she's like racing to like meet him as she explodes is her plan.
Oh my gosh.
Which is crazy.
That is crazy. But instead, she basically, I think it says she throws her arms out, right? Her hands out. Power rises, and the roof of her archives disintegrates, and it's just like pure power. And she says, I am the sky and the power of every storm that has ever been. I am infinite.
Mm-hmm. And then
out comes, actually, it comes from the sky. It doesn't come from her hands. That would be cool. But lightning just splits the sky, and
and it comes straight towards Jack.
To Jack. Yeah, and whether it hits him or not, who knows? All we know is that it explodes this tower, and he's falling down the mountainside with an avalanche of rock. Yeah.
And Bade, like it says, like he's definitely dead.
Right. My hand trembles. No, take that out.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah.
She
no.
feels okay.
Okay. My hand trembles, and she's like looking at her hands, like as if they could be covered in death, because she's a little bit like, I did that.
Yeah. She's like already regretting it, and I'm like, come on, it's been 2 seconds.
No. Taryn roars with an unmistakable sound of pride. Lightning wielder.
Yeah. So, a long, long time ago, when her and Zayden were kissing, there's this wonderful moment where she feels like a spark of power, something, and then like lightning cracks through the sky, and then she's thinking like, oh, lightning snow or whatever, thunder snow. And I made a prediction that I was like, maybe lightning or maybe just weather. Like maybe it's just weather or weather related or something like that.
Yeah.
But I so called it. I
You
can't believe I
called
called
it.
it because I barely remembered. I feel like I made like 10 different predictions about what her power would be, but that was like foreshadowing. Definitely, like no doubt about it. I don't think that the lightning that happened during that kiss or at the end of that kiss was actually caused by her because this is very clearly like this is my signet manifesting.
They
I
may
just
mention
think
I think it's mentioned later here. They may have talked about it again. So we'll see what they think. But yeah.
I just thought it was amazing foreshadowing, but I guess we'll
Yeah.
see. But yeah, I just couldn't even. I was like, oh my god, I did it! I did it!
That's so
So
great.
yeah, this was so great. This was a great power. And
And
earlier, I mean, she's talked about like time and time again how great she feels flying, and Zayden told her that like clearly you sitting in Car's class isn't going to manifest your signet,
right.
right? And like so they were trying to go out and whatever, train and fly and do stuff. Um and in this chapter when she's strapped in, she talks about like gets all of the best amazing feelings of flying without the terror that she's going to fall off and die.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so we did get these like little hints that that flying or the sky or something about this is like when she feels most herself,
Yes.
which is what will manifest your signet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it was pretty cool. So like
Yeah.
considering the flying and then the sky, like this is a sky power. Anyways, just super interesting.
So cool.
Yeah. It was so great.
Was that a fitting end for Jack, do you think?
Yeah.
Like no one else had to beat him up for her.
No. Yeah. No one else had to beat him up. And she did it in like retaliation for him being
Hurting Liam, yeah.
Yeah.
Liam got stabbed.
Yeah. I really hope he's okay. But yeah. I'm like, he better be because it's like we barely got to know him.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, so many of her friends have just like not died. I'm like, someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna die.
And that's always a thought when you're in these kind of books.
I
You're
know.
just like, there's not enough close people dying.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, the person we saw their name twice, they died. Cool.
Yeah, but how sucky would it be if she like used that power again?
I know.
Exhausted and Darna, and Liam doesn't live. Anyways,
Yeah, no, that's what I think too.
we'll
I'm like,
see.
she would really be down on herself if like all of that was basically for nothing. So
But
she
she
better
could.
survive.
But then there was Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, he
At
sucks.
least she got to manifest her signet while doing it. So, I mean,
I
altogether, good deal. Well, that was great. Couple chapters. Obviously, we will pick up at the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you should follow our social medias. We have Instagram and Threads, which is First Wing Pod. We post like clips from the podcast and fan art. And
We should probably have TikTok, but I don't have TikTok. And if you start doing TikTok, then people are going to spoil it for you. And
yeah,
who knows? Whatever.
okay. That's all right.
We'll do our thing.
Come find us.
Yeah, find us, rate us, and review us if you can, because not every podcast streaming thing actually lets you rate.
Yes, if you're on
And
Spotify
review.
or Apple Podcasts, you can rate and review us. And if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, we will read it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So next episode, we will cover chapters 29 and 30.
Yes. So join us next time, writers.
Bye.
Bye.